This episode of Against the Odds is brought to you by Card Kingdom. To pick up the deck and support the show, follow the link in the description box down below. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. So last week, we had an all-enchantment Against Odds Bowl, and in the end, it was the new Dominaria Saga, Fall of the Thran, coming out on top. So this week, we are heading to Modern for a deck that I'm calling Abzan Thran-Fall. And I'm pretty excited for this one. I feel like this deck does a really good job of embracing the power of Fall of the Thran in all the modes on Fall of the Thran, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. First, a super quick reminder before we break down Abzan Thran-Fall for Modern. If you enjoy this deck, and you enjoy Against the Odds in general, it would be amazing of you if you take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Abzan Thran-Fall, starting with Fall of the Thran. So Fall of the Thran, 6 mana saga, enters the battlefield, destroys all land, then for the next 2 turns, each player gets to return 2 lands from their graveyard to the battlefield. So when I realized that Fall of the Thran won the poll, my initial instinct was just trying to make it an Armageddon. Try to combo with things that exile the graveyard of our opponent to blow up all the lands and try to put them down resources, but after trying a couple of those decks, I realized that that wasn't really very good, but also wasn't really fully embracing the power of Fall of the Thran. So the power of Fall of the Thran is that it can be an Armageddon, blowing up all the lands, but then it also is giving us 2 extra lands from our graveyard with its second and third lore counters. So this deck is looking to be an Armageddon, or hopefully a one-sided Armageddon, really, but then also take advantage of the lands entering the battlefield with some super sweet landfall triggers. So plan number 1 of Fall of the Thran is to turn it into an Armageddon. So to turn Fall of the Thran into an Armageddon and really blow up all of our opponent's lands, we not only need to cast Fall of the Thran, but we also need to exile the cards from their graveyard after Fall of the Thran. So option 1 for this is Bojuka Bog. Bojuka Bog is perfect for this plan for a bunch of reasons, but the biggest one is it's a land, so it's not taking a spell slot from our deck. It also does some weird combos with Fall of the Thran, like if we play a Bojuka Bog early in the game, and we cast Fall of the Thran to blow up all the lands, when we get the second lore counter and return those first 2 lands, we can return Bojuka Bog and nuke our opponent's graveyard. So yes, we're not putting them down to 0 lands, but we're kind of like eliminating their ability to abuse the third lore counter, the second return 2 land from the battlefield. Plus, Bojuka Bog is tutorable by Knight of the Reliquary, so this makes sure we have access to Fall of the Thran as often as possible. So we hopefully get down a Knight of the Reliquary, start kind of tutoring through our deck, pumping our Knight of the Reliquary, ramping into Fall of the Thran, then we play Fall of the Thran, and use Knight of the Reliquary to tutor up a Bojuka Bog, maybe on our upkeep, or if we have a land right away, do it right away, but use Knight to get the Bojuka Bog, get rid of our opponent's graveyard, and turn Fall of the Thran into a legit full-on Armageddon. Plus, Knight of the Reliquary kind of good with Fall of the Thran anyway, because it blows up all of our lands, which means more lands in our graveyard, which means bigger Knight of the Reliquary, hopefully just killing our opponent in a couple of attacks. Finally, we got one backup, kind of janky Fall of the Thran combo. Scavenging Ooze is a way that we can kind of float some mana, play Fall of the Thran, eat some lands from our opponent's graveyard, or after the second lore counter triggers, we're able to get back some lands, get back some forests, eat the lands from our opponent's graveyard. So just another way that we can kind of minimize our opponent's ability to get lands back from the graveyard. So that is the Armageddon plan of Fall of the Thran. The sweet thing about this deck, though, is we're not just Armageddoning, we're also landfalling. So assuming we blow up all the lands, the next 2 turns, we're going to be getting 2 lands back from our graveyard, which is a perfect way to trigger some landfall abilities. So first off, we have Lotus Cobra, along with Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch. These are not our most threatening landfall triggers, but they do help us ramp into Fall of the Thran. If we can go something like turn 1 Birds of Paradise, turn 2 Lotus Cobra and Noble Hierarch, by turn 3 or turn 4, we can easily Fall the Thran, and then after we blow up all the lands, we're going to have these mana sources left over, plus when we get the lands back from Fall of the Thran, because it triggers when we're we're entering our first main phase, we're getting those Lotus Cobra triggers, which allows us to maybe play some other big things that turn, kind of doubling up our mana when those lands come back into play. We also have Tireless Tracker and Courser of Kruphix, which are great ways to take advantage of those lands entering the battlefield. So Tireless Tracker, not literal landfall, but it really is landfall. It just doesn't say landfall. Courser of Kruphix also doesn't say landfall, but really it is. It does something when a land enters the battlefield. So Tracker, when the lands are coming back into play from Fall of the Thran, giving us a bunch of clues to let us draw through our deck and find our finishers, find more Fall of the Thrans. Courser gaining us some life to make sure we don't die to aggro. And then our big finishers, and these are my favorite, Ob-Nixilis the Fallen and Avenger of Zendikar. So Ob-Nixilis is insane with Fall of the Thread. If we could go turn maybe 4-3 with our ramp, but let's say turn 5 Ob-Nixilis the Fallen, follow that up the following turn with Fall of the Thran, we blow up all the lands. However, when those lands are coming back into play with Fall of the Thran, let's say we get some fetch lands, 2 fetch lands, and we could use those fetch lands to fetch out other lands. That's 4 lands entering the battlefield, which means Ob-Nixilis is going to deal 3, 6, 9, 12 drain damage to our opponent, because every time a land enters, our opponent loses 3 life, plus we get 3 +1/+1 counters on Ob-Nixilis, so Ob-Nixilis is going to be a 15-15, our opponent's going to lose 12 life. Let's say we make a land drop for the turn 2 with another fetch land. That's 6 more drain, 6 more counters. Ob-Nixilis is like 20 power. We drained our opponent for like 18, probably just killed him on the spot. So one of the sweetest combo pieces for Fall of the Thread to really abuse those landfall triggers. We also have Avenger of Zendikar, which just makes a bunch of plans, and then as all the lands are coming back into play with Fall of the Thran, we make those plans super huge. If we Avenger, then Fall of the Thran, we should just kill our opponent on the following turn, because we're going to be getting back at least 2 lands, and again, the fetch land thing can double that up to 4 lands, and our land drop for the turn could be 5 or 6 lands, which means all those plants are just going to be massive, enough to just kill our opponent in one shot with these little 0/1 plants that have a million counters on them. So that's kind of our big landfall payoff. Otherwise, Path to Exile just gives us a little bit of removal. Mana base, we talked about Bojuka Bog being a combo piece. Gavany Township, Field of Ruin, Ghost Quarter, just other tutor targets for our Knight of the Reliquary. Good in specific situations. Township pumping our team, Field of Ruin, Ghost Quarter for Tron. A bunch of fetch lands, some shock lands, some basic lands. Sideboard wise, kind of trying to fight the unfair decks for the most part. We're really good at grinding with the fair decks, but we want to be able to make sure we don't just get stormed off. So Dabbing Sphere, Worship, mostly unfair deck hate for Storm, for Tron, all those combo decks. Stony Silence to shut down, Hardened Scales, Affinity, Tron, Surgical Extraction to grab cards out of our opponent's graveyard, Engineered Explosive, Settle the Wreckage for removal. Thoughtseize is kind of like preemptive removal. 1 Baneslayer Angel to help against aggro. We can ramp into it really quickly and just very good against burn decks or decks like Hollow One that don't have a ton of removal. And that is Abzan Thran-Fall for Modern, and that is our Against Odds deck for this week. So I'm excited for this one. I think this deck is going to be pretty sweet. I'm hopeful that we do some crazy things with Fall of the Thran. I'm excited to play Avenger and Ob-Nixilis. They're just really sweet threats that we don't get to play that much. We got a bunch of good ramp, we got some card draw, we got a lot of good cards, so I'm excited. I think Abzan Thran-Fall is going to be pretty sweet. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Let's get to the gameplay so we can see how this deck actually works in practice. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap-up. Alright, Against the Odds time. We are, oh my goodness, playing some Abzan Thran-Fall, Landfall, with Fall of the Thran-Fall. So good. Yeah, too slow. Okay, now we happen to have the no green mana, all green card hand. So down to 5. And we're keeping, snapping it off, Bojuka Bog to the bottom. Vern Catacombs, crack it. Forest and Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Carpusin Forest, Noble Hierarch. Yep, opponent passes. Well, Godless Shrine tapped. Get him a Noble Hierarch. Hit our opponent, down to 18. Ship the turn. Gonna wait on Tracker for when we can get a clue right away. Getting Tracker bolted for no value feels pretty bad. Okay, Dismembers. Grove of the Burn Willows. Ancient Stirrings. Ugh, Eldrazi Temple. My least favorite land. Opponent passes. Well, play Ghost Quarter. Play a very sad Tireless Tracker. Pass the turn. Oh my god. All the Dismembers. That's a pretty legit strategy when you mull to 5. Opponent. And we are going to concede. Not going to show our opponent what we're doing. Not worth it. Do not want them to see Fall of Thran or Ob-Nixilis. We'll just go to the sideboard, bring in Worship, Settle the Wreckage, maybe Baneslayer Angel. What do we cut? Maybe we go 1 Avenger, go down 1 Scavenging Ooze, 1 Birds of Paradise, and maybe we just go down both Scavenging Ooze. Let's try it like that. All right, we are on the play. All right, we'll keep it. Forest, go. Opponent, Forest. Carpusin style. Noble Hierarch. We'll play the Swamp. Play Lotus Cobra. Pass the turn. Alright. Ship the turn. Opponent. Carpusin Forest. Ancient Stirrings. Goes digging. Finds. Alright. Fetch land. Opponent. Gets it. Well, we'll take it. Down to 19. And passes. We'll play Field of Ruin. Make white. Play Worship. Get in with Lotus Cobra. And pass the turn. Mountain for our opponent. And Eldrazi Obligator. Alright. Getting hasty. Yep. And Lightning Bolt. Alright. Opponent. Getting in. Down to 15. Well, let's play Lotus Cobra. Ghost Quarter. Add green. We don't get a clue this way, but we do get down 2 creatures. Pass the turn. Kessig Wolf Run. Opponent. Gets it. Well, we will take it. Yep, sure. Down to 11. Opponent passes. Well, play Noble Hierarch. Get in with Tireless Tracker. Blow up Kessig Wolf Run. Grab a Plains. Get a clue, add a mana. Kind of a little combo. Lotus Cobra. And sack the clue. And pass the turn. Ancient Stirrings for our opponent. Thought-Knot Seer. Eldrazi Temple. Here comes Thought-Knot. Well, I don't know what our opponent takes. Has 2 decent options. Takes Baneslayer. Gets in. Well, we'll take it. Down to 7. Temple Garden. Tapped. Add a mana. Get a clue. Play Noble Hierarch. Get in with Tracker. Exalted. X2. Opponent takes it. Down to 4. Well, pass the turn. Opponent's going to need something pretty good. And opponent scoops it up. Cannot get through the Worship, and, well, we didn't fall the Thran, but that was not bad. I don't think we change anything. I think we just run it back and hope for the best. Okay. I mean, this hand's reasonable. We'll try it. Forest. Ooh, all right, and no Mana Dork for once. Well, let's Windswept Heath, crack it, grab a Forest, and Bird's Paradise. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent's gonna bolt the birds. Yep, that does slow us down a smidge. Opponent, Stomping Ground, stepped, and passes. I'll play Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn. Opponent, Grove of the Burn Willows. And there's Matter Reshaper. Well, crack this. Grab a... Let's go Overgrown Tomb. Opponent passes. I'll play the Plains. Run out Knight of the Reliquary. Chip the turn. Opponent, no attacks. Ooh, just passes? Okay. I'll play Courser. Sack the Forest. Grab a Windswept Heath. Gain a life. I'll crack Windswept Heath. Grab a Temple Garden. Untapped. Gain a life. We were trying to shuffle into a land on top, but play Godless Shrine, gain a life. Ship the turn. We're close. We are close to doing our thing. We have the Fall of Thran. We have Knight of the Reliquary to get Bajuka Bog. Ancient Stirrings. We are very close to the combo. Eldrazi Temple. That is our opponent's best land. Temple. Thought-Knot Seer. What do you got about it? Opponent goes with Baneslayer. Sure. And no respect for the Fall of the Thran. Settle the Wreckage on top. Alright. So now we have to play Tireless Tracker. Get a clue. Sacrifice Temple Garden. Get a Windswept Heath. Gain some life. Get a clue. Play Ghost Quarter, gain some life, get a clue, and pass the turn. So we should be set up for Fall of the Thran next turn. Ancient Stirrings, Reality Smasher. That's a good magic card. Opponent, no attacks. Well, crack Windswept Heath. Grab a Temple Garden. Untapped. Oh, we got it. Path Thought-Knot Seer. We're just going to draw the Bajuka Bog. And that does it. Combo kill. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing exactly it. We draw Bajuka Bog. Yes. Gain a life, get a clue. And now we sack a clue, draw a card. Yup. And so many Bajuka Bogs. Noble Hierarch on top. Opponent passes. Well, tap the Plains, sack the Plains. Grab a Verdant Catacombs. Clue and life. Is our opponent going to scoop? Sack Verdant Catacombs. Swamp. Blue and life. And now, what we've been waiting for, Fall of the Thran, blow up all the lands. And then Bajukabog, the graveyard. And we got him. Okay, Warping Whale, make a Scion, spawn. Bajukabog, target our opponent, gain life, exile all the lands, and get in with Courser. And that's Fall of the Thran, and now we're getting landfall triggers. Ancient Stirring in hand. Like, we're getting back lands, which are not just giving us resources, but they're triggering Tireless Tracker, they're triggering Courser Acrufix. And our opponent gave us the GGs, and that is Thran-Fall. That is exactly what we're trying to do. That's it. Play this stuff, Fall of the Thran. See you later, lands Armageddon you, and we will take it. Sweet. All right. Against the odds time, we are Thran-Falling, and we're going to keep this. It is a little risky. Lots of lands, but we do have our Fall of the Thran. So we'll see. Well, one swipe teeth. Crack it. Grab a forest, and the Noblest Hierarchs. Pass the turn. Opponent, untaps. Gemstone Mine. Well, that means nothing fair is happening. Get in with Noble Hierarch. Play Ghost Quarter, pass the turn. Oh, it's at die. Death and destruction. Die? Oh my god, it's this deck. Oh, good lord. Oh boy. Okay. We played this deck once. It is ridiculous. Well, opponent's down to 8. Although we're not very good at punishing them. Faithless Looting. So this is the Narset combo deck. There's Narset. Gemstone Mine. Wow. Well, opponents living the dream. They should just literally win here. They could whiff. It's not impossible. Gets in. It's very unlikely. So Narset attacks, exiles 4, can cast non-creatures, Relentless Assault, enter the infinite. All right. And that does it. Well, we played this deck. It either wins spectacularly or loses horribly. There is no middle ground. And we got to see the win spectacularly. Okay. Go down pass do nothing. Go up Surgicals, go up Thoughtseize, and I guess we can bring in the Damping Sphere as well. And go down, I guess just both Avengers. They're so expensive. Well, come on, Graveyard Hate. This hand would be great if we had a Forest, but we're going to keep it just because Surgical is very good against our opponent's deck. So opponent starts off with a Serum Powder. I probably should have let the combo play off out last game so you could see what it does. Found another Serum Powder for more mulliganing. And keeps. Well, planes go. I think the Surgical Extraction should just win. Gemstone Mine. Opponent. Faithless Looting. Narset, enter the infinite. Well, extract Narset. Jeez. They have Pull from Eternity in hand, so they can't actually get it back. Alright. Well, that's not good. Land? Alright. Overgrown Tomb untapped. Play Noble Hierarch. So our opponent can put Narset back in the graveyard. So we are going to still need to draw something before they find Goryo's Vengeance. Looting. Discards the Relentless Assaults. Man, we could literally be dead next turn. Looting again? Come on, more Graveyard Hate, please? Well, play Courser of Crufix. Pass the turn. Oh, please tell me you did not find it. There's the land. Alright, Faithless Looting. Now, in theory, we should be good once we play this Scavenging Ooze. Oh, boy. Emrakul shuffles everything back in. Opponent passes. Well, I mean, play Scavenging Ooze. Get in with Courser. We're not doing anything fun or flashy, but we might be protecting ourselves. Get our opponent down to 50. Wow, they got us on turn 2 in game 1. Passes. Well, let's just Godless Shrine. Untapped. Gain a life. Play Knight of the Reliquary. Go attacking. Hit our opponent. And pass the turn. Opponent. Passing. Yeah, I guess we let this go. Draw a Knight. There's a Swamp. Oh, play Tireless Tracker. Play the Swamp. Oh, get a clue. That's not bad either. Go attacking. Hit our opponent. Pass the turn. Opponent. Pull from Eternity. Well, sack the clue. Draw a card. And let's just Surgical again. Get rid of the Narset. Yep. And now we sacrifice the planes. Get a Windswept Heath. Life and Clue. Well, we haven't been able to do our fun stuff this game because we've just been trying to survive our opponent's stuff. Get a Forest. Ooh, there's Bajukabog on top too. And let our opponent go. So we have lethal, and we still have up and use activation. And opponent, all right. We got to see the bad of our opponent's deck. We are going to keep this. We don't have surgical. If our opponent can't kill us on turn 1, Damping Sphere should be very good though. All right. Mulligans. This deck mulligans like crazy. It plays some absurdly low number of lands. Ooh, keep 6. And a Gemstone Caverns. All right. Well, we might just be dead. Windswept Heath. Crack Windswept Heath. Grab a Forest. Play Birds of Paradise. I mean, if our opponent can just kill us on literally turn 1, then not much we can do about that. Spoils of the Vault. Names Pull from Eternity. And it was... I'm confused as to what happened. It was our very top card. Gemstone Mine. Opponent. Passes. Alright, there's a Swamp. So we play Noble Hierarch. Play Damping Sphere. Spoils of the Vault. So they actually were hoping to exile a bunch of stuff. They didn't hit a Narset though. They got the Goryo's Vengeance. They just could not find the Narset. Opponent. Passing. Yup. We draw. Bajuka Bog. Well, play Knight of the Reliquary. Bajuka Bog. Get rid of the spoils. Get in with Birds of Paradise for 1. Pass the turn. Opponent pulls a Faithless Looting. Sure. We got to see our opponent's deck do its insane turn 2 kill on game 1. And now we got to see, this is actually like exactly my experience with this deck, is that like 20% of the time you get some of the sweetest kills in Modern. And then the rest of the time, the deck does nothing. Opponent passes. Ooze. Well, play Tireless Tracker. Get in with Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Opponent passing. Well, sack a Forest. Windswept Heath. Clue. Sack Windswept Heath. Get a Forest. Clue. Sack a Forest. And that brings out the GGs. Oh my god, we survived one of the scariest decks in all of the Modern format. Wow. All right, well, we got there. We got there. No Fall to Thranning. Just Graveyard Hate and Hope, but it worked. Sweet. All right, against the odds time, we are Thran-Fallen in Modern, and we'll keep this. We don't have a Fall to Thran, but we have the ramp, and we even have Bajuka Bog. Plains for our opponent. Okay. Well, Forest, Noble Hierarch. Ship the turn. See what our opponent's doing. Plains. Thalia. Alright, opponent passes. Well, play Lotus Cobra. Play Verdant Catacombs. Play Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Opponent hits us. Down to 18. Eldrazi Displacer. Alright, untap. Swamp. Well, play Lotus Cobra. Play the Swamp. Add mana. Path Displacer. And get in with Lotus Cobra. Hit our opponent. Pass the turn. Fall the Thran would be so good. Avenger of Zendikar would actually be super good. Obnixilis would be good. So many things would be good here. Opponent. Getting in with Thalia. Yup, we'll take it. Down to 16. Ether Vial, sure. And Flicker Wisp. Targeting Thalia. Alright, well, let's see what we draw. More paths. Well, get in with Lotus Cobra. And yeah, let's just path Flicker Wisp. Somehow we've only drawn Lotus Cobras, Noble Hierarchs, and Path Exiles. Literally 100% of our draw. Opponent. Gets in with Thalia. Yeah, we'll take it. Down to 14. Ghost Quarter. Another Flicker Wisp. On Thalia. Sure. Opponent passes. Ghost Quarter. Well, get in with Lotus Cobra. Opponent takes it. Yeah, I guess we pass. Ether Vial. Opponent goes attack. Our opponent's in the race mode. All right, we'll take it. Down to 12. Down to 9. The Thraben Inspector is a good draw for our opponent. Okay. Sacks the clue. Thraben Inspector gets a clue. And passes. That's Obnixilis. Alright, so play Ghost Quarter. I think we just win with Obnixilis. Add black. Add black. Play Obnixilis. Crack Verdant Catacombs. I guess our opponent could draw exactly Path off this clue. Clue sacked. We will take a Temple Garden. Untapped. Drain our opponent. Add some mana. path our Noble Hierarch, get a swamp, trigger Obnixilis, Ghost Quarter, trigger Obnixilis, and no Fall the Thran, but the Landfall part of the deck coming through. All right, opponent's playing like a Death and Taxes deck. Maybe we like go down a Scavenging Ooze for Baneslayer and just run it like that. All right, opponent's on the play. Well, okay, we got the birds, we got a Lotus Cobra, and our payoffs. There's the Ether Vial. Yep, opponent passes. Well, Windswept Heath, crack it, grab a Overgrown Tomb, untapped, and Birds of Paradise. Ether Vial, digging up. Ooh, Eldrazi Temple. And there's a Thalia. Opponent passing. Well, let's just play the Plains, run out Tireless Tracker, pass the turn. Vials in, Thrabes, gets a clue. Yep, Clue Wars, Tireless Tracker, first Thraben Inspector. Opponent, picking up Vial to 2, goes to combat, gets it. Yep, down to 15. Sacks the clue. Ooh, and passes, all right. Oh, play Lotus Cobra, Township, get a clue, add some mana, and let's just pass. Vials in, there's Arbiter. Well, we can pay for a Ghost Quarter right now. Opponent goes to combat. No attacks. Vials in. Flicker Wisp on our land. All right, well, sack the clue. Draw a card. Opponent passes. Courser. Play Knight of the Reliquary. Pass the turn. Get back our land. Get a clue. We are susceptible to Ghost Quarter. Opponent. Vial. Up to 4. Ugh! They drew it. Okay. We were not hoping for the Ghost Quarter draw. Oh, Thought-Knot Seer. Okay. But we survived the Ghost Quarter for the turn. If it wasn't for Arbiter, we could go super crazy. Opponent getting in for 3. Yup. We'll take it. Down to 12. Opponent. Resto for Flicker Wisp. I mean, this could beat us. Hits Knight of the Reliquary. Yeah, that's kind of bad. Opponent passes. Well, play Courser, Verdant Catacombs, add mana, gain a life, play Ooze, pass the turn. So we get back Knight. Opponent, Vial staying at 4. Opponent, attacks. Well, I mean, we'll trade Tireless Tracker for Thought-Knot. Draw a card. Field of Ruin on top. Displacer. Alright, Ghost Quarters. Opponent passes. We draw Field of Ruin. Pay for Arbiter. Play Field of Ruin. Add a mana. Gain a life. Strip mine Eldrazi Temple. Get a forest. Add a mana. Gain a life. Sacrifice the Plains. Get a Windswept Heath. Add a mana. Gain a life. Sack Windswept Heath. Get a forest. Add a mana, gain a life, play Baneslayer Angel, and pass the turn. All right, that was a good turn. And without the Eldrazi Temple, they can't just blink with Displacer. They could have more Restos and Flicker Wisps. Well, mostly Restos. And opponent scoops it up? Well, we got to do some Landfall shenanigans. We didn't get to Fall the Thran, but that just wasn't a good Fall the Thran matchup. But a win's a win with Thran-Fall. Sweet. All right. Against the odds time, we are playing some Thran-Fall. Fall the Thran, Landfall. In Modern. Basic Mountain. Are we getting burned? Ooh, Fall the Thran, alright. Well, we have one of our backup combos, which is Fall of the Thran and Scavenge. Oh, it's Living End. We have a lot of incidental graveyard hate. Wait, is this Living End? I don't know what's happening. I'm very confused. Well, let's just play the Swamp, play Lotus Cobra, cycle Ceradon. Oh boy. Well, let's see what happens. Opponent, Mountain. Well, I don't know how they're getting back. Oh, okay. Maybe we shouldn't have played Lotus Cobra. Living End, Ceradons, play Windswept Heath. Scavenging Ooze, but it's too late. It's too late. Our opponent's already got 2 Ceradons. Crack this. Grab a forest. What do we do? How do we get out of this? Opponent gets in. I guess we take 12. Down to 7. Mountain. Tormenting Voice. Discards a Mountain. I'll play Noble Hierarch. Play Scavenging Ooze. Play Overgrown Tomb. Pass the turn. See what our opponent's got. Cycles Street Wraith. Cycles Hollow One. Well, that's good. That gives us a bunch of stuff to eat in the graveyard. Carries Ev's expertise. Into Tormenting Voice. Oh! Alright. Well, our opponent lived the dream. Okay. Well, we'll bring in Worship. We will bring in... maybe just, like, Settle the Wreckage? Go down a couple of Tireless Trackers. Go down one Avenger. Let's go down one Obnixilus. Alright. We play first. Alright, we'll keep this. Turn to, hopefully, Knight of the Reliquary seems sweet. Verdant Catacombs. Crack it. Grab a Forest. And Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. Mountain. Ugh. Alright. Bolts the birds. Opponent passes. I'll play the Forest. Play Lotus Cobra. Pass the turn. Opponent. Faithless Looting. Discards 2 lands. Plays a Mountain. Lightning Bolt. Opponent passes. Well, Windswept Heath, crack Windswept Heath. Grab a Godless Shrine, and run out Knight of the Reliquary. Pass the turn. Opponent. Young Pyromancer, and passes. Alright, let's just Path Young Pyromancer, play Township, pass the turn. Opponent has more Young Pyromancers, and Faithless Looting, makes a 1-1. Yup. This is an interesting deck by our opponent. Discard some stuff, plays a land, and hollow one. Alright, well, that's fine. We will just sack a forest, grab Bajukabog, get rid of the graveyard. Well, play Lotus Cobra, sack a forest, get a Windswept Heath, add a mana. Play another Knight of the Reliquary. Pass the turn. Fall of the Thran would actually be pretty awesome here. Fall of the Thran with the Knights out just lets us get Bajukabog. Cycle Ceradon and plays a land. Opponent. Passing. Fall of the Thran. Ooh, Worship. Well, I mean, I guess we just crack this. Grab a Plains. Yeah, let's just start putting counters on things. Counter up the team. Pass the turn. Opponent. Cycle Ceradon. Blood Moon. Alright, well... Sacrifice Godless Shrine. Get a Windswept Heath. Sacrifice Windswept Heath. Get a Forest. Opponent. Passing. Play Worship. And opponent scoops it up. Could not find the Fall of the Thran, but we were able to keep our opponent from going nuts. Yeah, let's keep it like that. Well, okay. We're going to keep this. We only have 1 land, but we do have 2 mana dorks. Alright, that's a land. So, Verdant Catacombs, crack it, grab a Forest, and Bird's Paradise. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps Mountain, and cycle Street Wraith, and bolts the birds. Yep. Opponent passes. I'll play Noble Hierarch. Play Windswept Heath. Pass the turn. Young Pyromancer. Alright, opponent's passing. Fall the Thran. Well, crack this. Grab a Plains, and let's just Courser. See if we get Fall the Thran on top. Okay. Sort of like a land once we get to 6 mana and blow up all the lands. Then we get lands back. Opponent. Tormenting Voice discards Goblin Dark Dweller. Mountain. Opponent getting in. We'll take it. We don't really want to put that in the graveyard. It looks like our opponent's trying to set up a living end. Opponent passes. We'll play Ghost Quarter. Get down our Worship. Pass the turn. Not sure how a mono red deck deals with Worship. Gets in. Gets in. We will block the Elemental. If our opponent wants to bolt our Courser, that's fine. Gives us some amount of protection from a living end. Yep. Down to 15. Opponent passes. Well, get in with Courser. Hit our opponent. Knight of the Reliquary. Cycles Hollow One. Wow, Cycles Hollow One. Okay. We have not found Graveyard Hate. Opponent plays a Mountain. Goes to combat. We will block with Noble Hierarch. Well, opponent's got a living end now. There's, yep, carries his expertise. Takes our knight. Living end. Yep. Dark Dweller. 4 Lightning Bolt. Bolts a Noble Hierarch. Opponent passes. Well, play Courser. Temple Garden. Tapped. Gain a life. Pass the turn. Opponent attacks with everything. I will take it. Down to 1. Looting. Yup. Cycle Street Wraith. Yup. Faithless Looting. Yup. Hollow One. Sure. Opponent passes. I'll play the Forest. Gain a life. Play Fall the Thran. We don't have the combo here, but this still puts us in pretty good shape. Opponent bolts the birds. Yup. Sure. Blow up all the lands. Pass the turn. Opponent. Gonna hit us down to 1. Sure. We'll take it. Opponent passes. All right, that's a land on top, and we can use it. All right, so get back Plains Forest, gain 2, Overgrown Tomb, untapped, play Knight of the Reliquary, pass the turn, cycle Street Wraith, land for our opponent. Opponent, no attacks. All right, so we sacrifice the Plains, get a Bajuka Bog, nuke our opponent's graveyard, gain a life. Get back Plains Forest, gain some life, play Tireless Tracker, play Verdant Catacombs, gain some life. And opponent scoops it up. Yeah, we had it. We had another Fall of Thran in hand. The worship kept us alive, and I mean, our opponent was on a super spicy brew, but one of the problems with being mono red is you don't have great answers to things like worship. All right, against the odds time. Playing some Thran-Fall, Fall of Thran, Landfall in Modern, and we'll try this. No Fall of Thran, but we have a pretty decent start. Flooded Thran for our opponent. Well, Overgrown Tomb, untapped, play a Noble Hierarch, pass the turn. Opponent cracks, Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, I don't know how this goes. Flooded Thran for our opponent. Well, play Lotus Cobra, opponent cracks, Island, and there's a Mana Leak. Well, Verdant Catacombs, crack Verdant Catacombs, grab a Temple Garden, untapped, and run out birds. Pass the turn. Field of Ruin for our opponent, and passes. Ugh, more paths. I'll play Windswept Teeth, play Knight of the Reliquary. Mana Leak number million. Many Mana Leaks. Well, get him with birds. If our opponent untaps and plays Jace, life is pretty horrible. Untaps and passes. Well, Township is not bad. Let's get in with Birds of Paradise. Hit our opponent. We probably should have cracked the fetch land first, actually. Pass the turn. So opponent's going to Field of Ruin. We crack Windswept Teeth. Grab a Godless Shrine. Untapped. Counter up the team. Grab our Plains. Pass the turn. Opponent opts. Opponent passes. Well, get in with Birds of Paradise. Hit our opponent. I guess we play Lotus Cobra. Pass the turn. Plains. Opponent. Passing. So many lands. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent runs out Vendilion Click. Targets themselves. Well, path Vendilion Click. Entreat the Angels to the bottom. Opponent pass Hierarch. Grab a Swamp. And pass the turn. Opponent. There's Jace. I guess Jace Tick Up is also good for our opponent. Opponent passes. Temple Garden. Aye. Well, attack Jace. Down to 2. Temple Garden tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent. Flooded Strand. Now the brainstorming can begin. Brainstorms. Up to 5 cards in hand. Opponent. Passing. Well, go to combat. Attack Jace. Opponent pass Lotus Cobra. Well, we'll take a Forest. Jace down to 1. Tireless Tracker. Opponent did have the counter. Play Catacombs, pass the turn. Oh boy. Opponent takes up Jace. Leaves a card on top. Okay, and we're getting very close to the concession part of the game. Teferi joins Jace. We're going to see if our opponent leaves good cards on top. They do not. And we are going to scoop it up. The bad news is we don't really have a ton for this matchup. We can bring in a couple of Thought Seizes, going down some paths, and maybe like go up Surgicals for paths. And that's about it. Well, we're going to keep this. Hand is potentially a bit weak to infinite counters, but it's reasonable. Verdant Catacombs. Crack Verdant Catacombs. Grab a Overgrown Tomb. Untapped. And Birds of Paradise. I'll play Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. Opponent. Passing. I'll crack Windswept Teeth. Grab a Godless Shrine. Untap. Well, play Lotus Cobra. Play Field of Ruin. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Field of Ruin. Ooh, Field of Ruin's our Field of Ruin. I'll grab a Forest. Opponent gets an island. No mana. Opponent passes. Play Bajuka Bog. Exile the graveyard. Add mana. Run out Obnixilis. Get in with Lotus Cobra. What do you got, opponent? Plains. Detention Sphere. Alright. Yep. Opponent passes. I'll play Ghost Quarter. Add mana. I mean, this is a decent Fall of the Thran. Play Fall of the Thran. Blow up all the lands. Birds of Paradise for Noble Hierarch. Because now we get to get back Bojuka Bog next turn. So our opponent's going to get back a couple lands. But this still puts our opponent very far behind on resources. Opponent, Flooded Strand, and passes. So we get back Bojuka Bog. I guess just a fetch land. Exile the cards from our opponent. Make some mana with Lotus Cobra. We don't really have anything insane to play, though. Add some mana. Get rid of the lands. Play the Forest. Add a mana. Get in with Lotus Cobra. Hit our opponent. Yup. Down to 12. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand. Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Opponent plays a tap land. Ooh, timely. All right. Well, we're going to run it back. So we untap. More lands. Good golly. Well, get back Verdant Catacombs and Field of Ruin. Add mana. Play Fall of the Thran. Blow up all the lands again. Keep the fun going. Yup, all lands destroyed. Get in with Birds of Paradise. Hit our opponent for 1. Temple Garden, tapped. Pass the turn. Well, we're Fall of the Thranding pretty well, but we're not finding any payoffs, which is sad. Field of Ruin for our opponent. And passes. Oh my lord almighty, deck! The flood. The flood is insanely real. Well, get back Bojuka Bog. Get back Windswept Heath. Exile. Like, if we had Obnixilis, Corsair Crucifix, even just something as innocent as a Tireless Tracker, any of that stuff, and we would just be going insane right now. But instead, we're just kind of like grinding down our opponent's mana, which, I mean, it's fine. We have put them down a reasonable number of lands. So missing some sort of landfall creature is really making this a lot worse than it would have been. Opponent gets in with the soldiers. Okay, well, we will take it. Down to 13. Opponent passes. Well, there's our Tireless Tracker. Now that we've went through all of this. Well, float a mana. This is actually pretty fine. So grab a Plains. Make some mana. Get back 2 lands. We will take Fetch Land and Field of Ruin. Make some mana. Play the Forest. Make some mana. Tireless Tracker. Crag Verdant Catacombs. Crag Windswept Heath. Temple Garden. Tapped. Make some mana. Get a clue. Field of Ruin Colonnade. Get a swamp. Make some mana. Get a clue. I mean, we're doing things. We needed this tracker like a turn or two ago. Sack a clue. Draw a card. Ooh, Obnixilis. Alright, let it go. Get a swamp. Add some mana. I don't think we have any lands left. Yeah, we're out of lands. Well, sack a clue. Thoughtseize our opponent. 2 mana leaks, Timely Baneslayer. Well, we gotta take Baneslayer. Actually, get in with Birds of Paradise. Opponent peels in his Kanta, and opponent gets in. Down to 6. Passes. Play Obnixilis. Go to combat. Hit our opponent. Down into 9. Opponent's gonna get to make more soldiers, though. As Kanta, opponent opts. Leaves it on top. Oh boy. Timely. Bunch of tokens. Opponent attacks. Well, we block. Drop to 4. We draw. Surgical. Get in with Obnixilis. Opponent blocks. Play Tireless Tracker. Pass the turn. As Kanta flips. Yup. To Fairy. That's not good. Gets rid of Tireless Tracker. No attacks. Let's Surgical Path to Exile. Opponent's hand is, 2 mana leaks in Detention Sphere. Alright, pass down. Come on, lands. That's very interesting. Okay. Attack to Fairy. Oh, we might be winning. We might have got there. Oh, Lord Almighty, we might have done it. To Fairy down. Fall the Thread off the top. Blow up all the lands. Pass the turn. Opponent's got no lands. That means they can't deal with our Obnixilis. Opponent passing. Wow, getting frisky. Okay. Well, we will block and block. Drop to 2. I'll fall the Thran. Get back Bojuka Bog. Get back Temple Garden. Not gonna pay life. Exile the Graveyard. Drain our opponent. drain our opponent. They top deck a path, and opponent scoops it up! The Fall of the Thran! It came through! It came through! Oh my goodness! All of our looping felt like a lost cause, but it came through! In the end, it was good enough. Oh my goodness, they even found a Teferi! Omnixilus! Thran-Fall! Landfall! Land Destruction! That was surprising. Alright, well, run it back. See if we can do it one more time. Okay. Not an explosive hand, but we have some okay cards for this matchup. So Windswept Heath, Bracket, Temple Garden, Untapped, and Birds of Paradise. Ship the turn. Opponent cracks. It's a Hallowed Fountain. Opponent untaps, plains, and passes. Well, let's play Scavenging Ooze. Opponent counters. Play Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turn. Island. Opponent passing. Man, this is probably wrong, but Surgical Mana Leak. Opponent dispels. Interesting. Well, Surgical Mana Leak. Opponent Mana Leaks. I guess that's fine. We traded Surgicals for 2 counters. Grab an Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Play Township. Play Noble Hierarch. Play Knight of the Reliquary. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent, what do you got left? Field of Ruin. Well, that's going to take down Township. Takes down Township right now. That is our only Township as well. Grab a Forest. Oh, God. And they got the path. Well, grab a plains. Come on, payoffs. We need some payoffs. All right, that's a payoff. That's a combo. Fall of the Thran. And, like, what's in hand? Like, what's in hand? Last card in hand is going to make our opponent very, very sad. Bojuka Bog. We will target our opponent. See you later, land. See you later, graveyard. And I think we're favored. We could use a threat to close out the game, but that's a combo. Are we going to beat blue-white control? Opponent finds a colonnade, so they do have a land, but we start getting back our lands, and that includes Gavany Township, Knight of the Reliquary. Get back Gavany Township, get back a Overgrown Tomb. Enters tapped. Replay Knight of the Reliquary. Pass the turn. Is this happening? Fall the Thran? And opponent scopes it up! It worked! It worked! It's kind of working. Blue-white control is like the best deck in Modern, and we're just killing people. I mean, I know we have some good cards, but that was a Fall of the Thran win. Our opponent countered our stuff, killed our stuff. It was looking grim, and then off the top, Fall of the Thran, Bojuka Bog. Good game about it. Good game. Good game, blue-white control. Oh, man. Spectacular. That was spectacular. Sweet. So what do we learn this week about Abzan Thran-Fall in Modern? And the deck killed it. It killed it. We went 5-0 with Abzan Thran-Fall, beating some wacky brews, Narset combo. We played against kind of a crazy Hollow One Living End mashup, but also playing some legit decks. Green-red Eldrazi is legit. Death and Taxes is legit. Blue-white control is like one of the best decks in Modern. So a mixture of like top tier and kind of under the radar brews, but still we went 5-0 in our matches. We went 10 out of 14 as far as games, which is like 71%, which means Abzan Thran-Fall, just one of the best against odds decks, period, of all time. Like, you can't go any better than going undefeated in matches. That is as good as it gets. More importantly, Fall of the Thran was insane. Like, it was very, very good. Yes, there were some matchups where it wasn't as good, and we were trusting our other cards to kind of carry the day, and thankfully we got some good other cards to carry the day. But probably the best example of Fall of the Thran was a control match where things were looking grim, our opponent was countering and killing our stuff, then all of a sudden we just Fall of the Thran Bojuka Bog, and it's just game. We just literally win the game on the spot. We were able to get some sweet landfall triggers. We got some combo kills with Omnixilus in some games. We never really did any Avenger of Zendikar action, unfortunately, but overall, Abzan Thran-Fall, it was great. It was really fun, and I was honestly impressed with the power of Fall of the Thran. Bojuka Bog was a perfect enabler. Having Knight of the Reliquary to get Bojuka Bog was super awesome, and right now, Graveyard Heat is just good in Modern anyway. So many decks. We played against a Hollow One deck, also a control deck, the Narset combo deck, so like, so many decks are using their Graveyard, either as their primary way of attacking, or as a secondary way of attacking, so just random randomly having all these Bojuka Bogs and ways to find Bojuka Bogs is a really good gotcha that can win games on its own. So the deck was excellent, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I think the aha moment of realizing Fall of the Thran is an Armageddon, and a one-sided Armageddon, but is also a really sweet landfall enabler, made the deck really, really fun. When if we had just went with the Armageddon plan, I think the deck, it would have been okay, but it would have been much less competitive, and it would have done a worse job of showing off the power of all the Thran. So for me, this was just a good reminder to really think over all the card and what the card does. We saw this earlier with Venser on Mucha Brew, not really reading the negative one for a bunch of turns. Fall of the Thran is kind of like that. It's easy to get the tunnel vision on I'm gonna Armageddon you, because Armageddoning someone, especially one-sided Armageddon, is pretty awesome, and not think about the rest of the card, but realizing that it was such a good landfall enabler led to a really sweet and kind of surprisingly competitive deck. So anyway, I guess that's all for today. Abzan Thran-Fall 5-0, super awesome, can't really complain. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.